In recent times, all throughout the world, archaeologists have found artifacts that they classify as out-of-place artifacts. For instance, there's the Bat Creek stone that was found in 1889 in Tennessee. When the archaeologists found it, they originally thought it was the Cherokee writing system, or Cherokee alphabet, I should say. And when this stone was presented as a Cherokee stone, it was well accepted. Controversy started when Cyrus H. Gordon, a scholar of Near Eastern cultures and languages, examined the stone and said that it was Hebrew, specifically Paleo-Hebrew, an old form of Hebrew, that is. Now, once that idea was presented, the stone was considered a hoax. And the main reason they call it a hoax is because the letters on the stone resemble letters from a Masonic book. I can admit that the lettering is similar, but they're definitely not the same. So how can it be a copy? I mean, just look at the first letter on the stone and the first letter from the Masonic dictionary. Not only that, but after the space, look at the first letter on the stone, then look at the first letter from the Masonic dictionary. I want you to take note that this stone was found by the Smithsonian Institution during excavations of the Hopewell Mounds. There's been plenty of other artifacts that were found in the Americas that resemble Hebrew artifacts or Egyptian artifacts or even Mesopotamian artifacts. An artifact that is Mesopotamian in style that was found in the Americas is called the Fuente Magna Bowl, and it is said to have engravings that resembles non-Sumerian Mesopotamian cuneiform script. And looking at these images one above the other, I can definitely see the resemblance. And in Mexico, at Calixtlahuaca, we can find an Egyptian-style ankh. There are plenty of artifacts that were found within the Americas that are Mesopotamian or Egyptian or Hebrew in style. My question is, why don't we know about them?
Bizarre evidence seems to have been well documented, yet the general public and many within the scientific community are unaware of these controversial finds. The question is, why haven't we heard of these discoveries before?
Oh, I think we're talking about a massive cover-up. As I said, over the past 150 years, these archaeologists and anthropologists have covered up as much evidence as they've dug up, literally.
Basically what you find is something we call a knowledge filter. This is a fundamental feature of science. It's also a fundamental feature of human nature. People tend to filter out things that don't fit, that don't make sense in terms of their paradigm or their way of thinking. So in science, you find that evidence that doesn't fit the accepted paradigm tends to be eliminated. It's not taught, it's not discussed, and people who are educated in scientific teachings generally don't even learn about it.
Conventional theory states that modern man originated in southern Africa around 100,000 years ago. From there, he migrated north into Europe and southern Asia, continued through Asia, and crossed the Bering Strait into the New World around 30,000 years ago. He then came down through North America and finally arrived in South America around 15,000 years ago. Yet numerous artifacts have been found across North and South America that are so old they threaten to completely overturn this theory. According to geologist Virginia Steen McIntyre, she was silenced at the height of her career because of her determination to report the facts. In the summer of 1966, a collection of stone tools, including this leaf-shaped spear point, was uncovered at Hueyatlaco, Mexico. To find out exactly how old the spear points were, a team of experts from the United States Geological Survey was called in to date them.
When we first began to work on the Hueyatlaco site, we thought we had an old site. This was back in '66, and we thought it was perhaps 20,000 years old, and at that time that was considered a very old age for the site. We did what they call radiometric dates, which gives an actual date range, and we used two different methods to do that. One was using uranium atoms, another one was using little zircon crystals. When we finally got the dates and all the different methods we used to date it, it came out to be 250,000 years old. To tell you the truth, I would have been happy with a 20,000-year-old date. It would have made my career. It was very old for the time, But it wasn't so old that it was that controversial. People can take 20,000-year steps. They can't take steps that are over 200,000 years at one time. And I was rather naive. I thought, okay, we've got something big here, but I'm just going to stick with the date. We've got the information, we got the facts, let's get the facts out and go on from there. And I didn't realize it was going to ruin my whole career.
According to Dr. McIntyre, because she stuck to the facts, all of her professional opportunities were closed off. She's not worked in her chosen field since. The site was closed and permission for further investigation was denied forever.
It's not necessarily a deliberate conspiracy in the sense of some people getting together in a smoke-filled room and saying, we're going to deceive people. It's something that happens automatically within the scientific community. So when a given piece of evidence disagrees with the predominant theory, then automatically people won't talk about it, they won't report it, and that means that science fails to progress in the way that one would hope.
So I'm not the only one who believes that there is a mass cover-up going on. But I believe I did find out who's doing the covering up. And most of you probably guessed it. It's the Smithsonian Institution, of course. And for those of you who don't know, the Smithsonian Institution is definitely a government agency. And to see how this cover-up is being done, we're going to read a text. And this text is from the first director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institution. His name is John Wesley Powell. The name of this text is On Limitations to the Use of Some Anthropologic Data by J.W. Powell or Powell. Listen to what this guy has to say about pictographs found across the Americas. Hence, it will be seen that it is illegitimate to use any pictographic matter of a date anterior to the discovery of the continent by Columbus for historic purposes. So the very first director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institution declared all pictographic matter older than 1492 illegitimate for historic purposes. He's like, yeah, these things are cool to be interested in, but we can't use this for historic purposes at all. And I want y'all to tell me, does that make sense? In the monuments of antiquity found throughout North America, in camp and village sites, graves, mounds, ruins, and scattered works of art, the origin and development of art in savage and barbaric life may be satisfactorily studied. Incidentally, too, hints of customs may be discovered, but outside of this, the discoveries made have often been illegitimately used, especially for the purpose of connecting the tribes of North America with people or so-called races of antiquity in other portions of the world. So my question is, who's deciding what's legitimate and what's illegitimate? Because this same guy, the first director of the Bureau of Ethnology at the Smithsonian Institution, called all pictographs older than 1492 illegitimate, then truly, what is legitimate? And it's clear as day that it's the government agencies and institutions who decides what's legitimate and illegitimate.